Wanda. I need your help.
With what?
What do you know about the multiverse?
What is up, my fellow quirky people? The MCU is full of newly added characters now. Phase 4 brought in a lot of new faces, as we even met alien species like the Deviants and Eternals. But soon, we'll be seeing even more kinds of individuals come into the mix. Black Panther 2 will introduce us to the Atlanteans. Meanwhile, Moon Knight and Doctor Strange 2 will dive into the supernatural. And with that, we could finally get to know how vampires are coming into the MCU now. Maybe a few bloodsuckers could appear in the film. Back in 2019, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige hinted there is a connection between Doctor Strange 2 and Blade. Now Blade may or may not appear in Multiverse of Madness, but it's likely that he could arrive in Moon Knight after making his partial debut in Eternals.
Sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman?
And meanwhile, Doctor Strange 2 could establish the threat of vampires for Blade to go up against. So far, we've had a few references to vampires in the MCU. In fact, 3 of them came in Phase 4 itself, while the first one appeared in Ragnarok. This film told us that vampires aren't just beings from Earth. They're actually a universal, and we heard about them from a person that we least expected. It was Korg who talked about killing 3 vampires with a big wooden fork.
Want to use a big wooden fork?
No.
Yeah, not really useful unless you're fighting off 3 vampires that were huddled together.
It was crazy to think that even these bloodsuckers have existed universally. Not one of them has been reported or shown in the MCU yet. In fact, Loki revealed that vampires were a multiversal phenomenon. Loki's Time Variance Authority specifically called out vampires. When Mobius explained that variants are removed from the timeline to Loki, he called out specific species that had variants. In addition to humans, Mobius mentioned the Kree and Titans, 2 alien species that have been seen in the MCU recently, but he also noted that the TVA removed vampires from the sacred timeline.
We brought in Kree, Titans, vampires. Why is it the 2 orphan demigods are such a pain in the ass?
And yet it was your idea to bring in another what?
Furthermore, we got a comment about vampires from Kingo in Eternals.
Actually, when we first met, he thought I was a vampire, and he tried to stake me through the heart.
He said that Karun thought of him as a vampire. Even though this was meant as a joke, the fact that Kingo talked about it having been alive for thousands of years confirms that vampires had always existed on Earth too. So where have they been? Have they been asleep ready to be woken up? Have most of them died? Has Blade or someone else been killing them in the shadows? I guess we'll get the answer to these questions very soon, but a new theory states that Doctor Strange 2 could actually create a lot of madness for Blade. It could lead to a massive incursion from these blood-sucking people of the dark, and that might happen through the Otherworld. We're going to see a lot of dimensions come into play in Doctor Strange 2. Strange will be jumping across a few of them, and this particular location is believed to be the Utopian Parallel, which is the old home of America Chavez. And the new theory that we've got states that it could actually be the Otherworld. This mystical realm lies at the heart of the multiverse, serving as one of the number of phenomena described as a nexus of all reality. At the forefront of it is a fortress designed to protect each and every dimension, and it is called the Starlight Citadel. Maybe we saw the ruins of this fortress at the nexus of all reality across the multiverse in the Doctor Strange 2 trailers. So, if this place is to be destroyed, then gateways to several dimensions could be opened into the MCU's reality. And that's where we could get our setup for a full-on vampire invasion. You see, in 2020's X-Men event called X of Swords, we got a thorough exploration of the Otherworld. It was revealed that the dimension was divided into a number of fair and foul courts, and one of their fair courts was Sevalith. This is the true home of vampires, which is ruled by Countess Obula and Countess Oscura. So what if a piece of Sevalith somehow forms a connection with the MCU when Wanda shatters the multiverse? That could bring an army of vampires into the MCU. Or maybe someone along the likes of Countess Obula or Countess Oscura could enter the MCU. It could very well be Dracula himself, for that matter. And once this vampire ruler comes into the mix, He could wake up a swarm of vampires that have been lying dormant on Earth for centuries. It will be upon Blade to put a stop to the vampire leader and his or her army. Maybe this could be the connection between Doctor Strange 2 and Blade that Feige was talking about. This is how Blade's solo outing could be set up properly. What do you guys think about this theory? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so we can continue coming up with such content. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.